Hello, my lovelies. Today I have a book outlet haul for you, so stay tuned. So I'll order some more books, because you know I need more books, right? Okay, let me take this plastic off and I'll go ahead and just pull out all the books and set them up here, and then we will go over what I got. Okay, so I only got 12 books this time, and 4 out of those 12 are not even for me. So, well, they're more for Xander, but they're like for Xander for school, kind of, or just for learning purposes. Anyway, so let's start with the ones that I got for him. So the first one, and I'll say he helped pick these. I just selected a bunch of them that I thought he might find interesting, and he picked which ones that I got. So the first one is How to Survive History. How to Outrun a Tyrannosaurus, Escape Pompeii, Get Off the Titanic, and Survive the Rest of History's Deadliest Catastrophes by Cody Cassidy. And this is a practical guide to surviving history's most challenging threats, from outrunning dinosaurs to making it off the Titanic alive. History is the most dangerous place on Earth, from dinosaurs the size of locomotives to meteors big enough to sterilize the planet. From famines to pandemics, from tornadoes to the Chicxulub asteroid, the odds of human survival are slim, but not zero. At least, not if you know where to go and what to do. In each chapter of How to Survive History, Cody Cassidy explores how to survive some of history's greatest threats, including getting eaten by dinosaurs, being destroyed by the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs, succumbing to the lava flows that destroyed Pompeii, falling prey to the Black Death, being devoured by the Donner Party, drowning during the sinking of the Titanic. Using hindsight and modern science to estimate everything from how fast you need to run to outpace a T-Rex to the advantages of different body types in surviving the Donner Party tragedy, Cassidy gives you a detailed battle plan for survival, helping you learn about the era at the same time. History may be the most dangerous place on Earth, but that doesn't mean you can't visit. You can and you should, and with this copy of How to Survive History in your back pocket, you just might make it out alive. And I thought that would be just a cute thing for him, but also learning history stuff, so there we go. And then we've got This Is Your Brain on Music, The Science of a Human Obsession by Daniel J. Levitin. Xander is huge on music. He loves creating music and producing music, all of that. And he has like a Spotify and everything. I'll link it down below if I can, to his music. But yeah, he's gotten really good. This says, in this unprecedented meeting of art and science, rocker turned neuroscientist Daniel J. Levitin explores the connection between music, its performances, its composition, how we listen to it, why we enjoy it, and the human brain. Drawing on the latest research and on musical examples ranging from Mozart, Ella Fitzgerald, and U2 to Schoenberg, Metallica, and Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, Levitin reveals how composers exploit the way our brains make sense of the world, why we emotionally attach to music we listen to as teenagers, why 10,000 hours of practice, not talent, makes virtuosos, how indigenous jingles, aka earworms, get stuck in our heads. Taking on prominent thinkers who argue that music is nothing more than an evolutionary accident, Levitin argues that music is fundamental to our species, perhaps even more so than language. This Is Your Brain on Music is an ear-opening, mind-blowing investigation into an obsession at the center of human nature. And so I thought he would find this really interesting. Okay. This next one is kind of funny, but also it is informative. And I found when we went to Amsterdam and we went to the Cannabis Museum, there was so much information that I didn't even know about cannabis. And so I saw this book. I thought it was funny, and Xander definitely wanted it. This is The Scratch and Sniff Book of Weed by Steve Matlins and Eve Epstein, illustrated by Ann Pickard. It says this book is dope. Okay, so this is actually a board book, but Scratch and Sniff. I'm very curious. So it actually does give like a history and talks about botany and how it actually affects people and why you get the munchies and other stuff. Cannabis and culture, medical uses, all that. It says not just for stoners, but absolutely for stoners. Legal in all 50 states, this entertaining, informative, and whimsically illustrated guide covers 4,000 years of weed and its significance, psychoactive, cultural, medical, sexual, and more, in just 22 pages and with 20 scratch and sniff scents, from the science behind the munchies to the botanical link between weed and beer, from weed's sexual upsides to its literal sexual downsides, from Tupac to Shakespeare to why weed makes music sound better. This book may just be the greatest ever gift for anyone from the cannabis connoisseur to the cannabis curious. And apparently, the author donates 10% of their profits from the sale of this book to drugpolicy.org to support the fight for weed's legalization. And then the other one I got for him is Psych, The Story of the Human Mind by Paul Bloom, because he's interested in psychology. This says a compelling and accessible new perspective on the modern science of psychology based on one of Yale's most popular courses of all time. How does the brain, a 3-pound wrinkly mass, give rise to intelligence and conscious experience? Was Freud right that we are all plagued by forbidden sexual desires? What is the function of emotions such as disgust, gratitude, and shame? Renowned psychologist Paul Bloom answers these questions and many more in Psych, his riveting new book about the science of the mind. Psych is an expert and passionate guide to the most intimate aspects of our nature, serving up the equivalent of a serious university course while being funny, engaging, and full of memorable anecdotes. But Psych is much more than a comprehensive overview of the field of psychology. Bloom reveals what psychology can tell us about the most pressing moral and political issues of our time, including belief in conspiracy theories, the role of genes in explaining human differences, and the nature of prejudice and hatred. Bloom also shows how psychology can give us practical insights into important issues, from the treatment of mental illnesses, such as depression and anxiety, to the best way to lead happy and fulfilling lives. Psych is an engrossing guide to the most important topic there is. It is the story of us. Okay, so those are the ones that I got for him. Also, my battery is like at half, so I might have to change it out at some point. Okay, now on to the books that I got for me. They're all just fun ones. Well, actually, there's one that's helpful. Okay, the first one I have here is Things We Do in the Dark by Jennifer Hillier. This says, when Paris Peralta is arrested in her own bathroom, covered in blood, holding a straight razor, her celebrity husband dead in the bathtub behind her, she knows she'll be charged with murder. But as bad as this looks, it's not what worries her the most. It's only a matter of time before someone from her long-ridden past recognizes her and destroys the new life she's worked so hard to build. 25 years earlier, Ruby Reyes, known as the Ice Queen, was convicted of a similar murder in a trial that was a media sensation and riveted the nation. Reyes knows who Paris really is, and when Reyes is unexpectedly granted an early release from prison, she threatens to expose all of Paris's secrets. Left with no other choice, Paris must finally, once and for all, confront the dark past she thought she had escaped. Because the only thing worse than a murder charge is the dark personal history that Paris will do anything to keep hidden. Next up, I have The 12 Days of Christmas by Poppy Alexander. This says, the most magical time of the year. For the first time in 10 years, Freya is back in the little village of Middlemass for Christmas. The streets might be twinkling with fairy lights, but after the recent loss of her mother, she's never felt less festive. Forced to sleep under the same roof as her handsome neighbor Finn, Freya realizes she's going to need a distraction, fast. So she sets herself a challenge, to cook the 12 days of Christmas. Her delicious food soon brings the villagers together, and as each day passes, old friendships are renewed, memories stirred, and there's even the flickering of romance. She was only meant to stay for the holidays, but could Middlemass and Finn seal her heart forever? Oh, cool. So I was wondering if it had the recipes, and it does. So it's like on the 5th day of Christmas, she made this, and it has the recipe for how to make it. That's pretty cool. So we have all 12 days of Christmas recipes. Neat. Maybe I'll try to do this around Christmas time sometime. Next, I got Into the Wind-Cracked Wilds by A. Deborah Baker, aka Shannon McGuire. This is book 3, I believe, in the Up and Under series. The first one is Over the Woodward Wall. And this Up and Under series is actually the little storybook type thing that's mentioned in Middle Game. So she ended up writing this whole series. Let me read you about Over the Woodward Wall on Goodreads. This says, if you trust her, you'll never make it home. Avery is an exceptional child. Everything he does is precise, from the way he washes his face in the morning to the way he completes his homework, without complaint, without fuss, without prompt. Zib is also an exceptional child because all children are in their own way. But where everything Avery does and is can be measured, nothing Zib does can possibly be predicted, except for the fact that she will always be relied upon to be unpredictable. They live on the same street, they live in different worlds. On an unplanned detour from home to school one morning, Avery and Zib find themselves climbing over a stone wall into the Up and Under, an impossible land filled with mystery, adventure, and the strangest creatures. And they must find themselves and each other if they are to also find their way out and back to their own lives. And I very, very much enjoyed it. So I want to continue. Okay, next up I have Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murders. It almost looks like there's like hot glue or something on the edge. That's weird. For murderers. Anyway, this says, a lonely shopkeeper takes it upon herself to solve a murder in the most peculiar way in this captivating mystery by Jessie Q. Satanto, best-selling author of Dial A for Aunties. Vera Wong is a lonely little old lady, a lady of a certain age, who lives above her forgotten tea shop in the middle of San Francisco's Chinatown. Despite living alone, Vera is not needy. Oh no, she likes nothing more than sipping on a good cup of oolong and doing some healthy detective work on the internet about what her Gen Z son is up to. Then one morning, Vera trudges downstairs to find a curious thing, a dead man in the middle of her tea shop. In his outstretched hand is a flash drive. Vera doesn't know what comes over her, but after calling the cops like any good citizen would, she swipes the flash drive from the body and tucks it safely into the pocket of her apron. Why? Because Vera is sure she will do a better job than the police possibly can. Nobody sniffs out a wrongdoing quite like a suspicious Chinese mother with time on her hands. Vera knows the killer will be back for the flash drive. All she has to do is watch the increasing number of customers at her shop and figure out which one among them is the killer. What Vera does not expect is to form friendships with her customers and start to care for each and every one of them. As a protective mother hen, will she end up having to give one of her newfound chicks to the police? Next up is Finley Donovan Jumps the Gun by L. Casimano. And this is, I think, book 3 of Finley Donovan is Killing It. So I pulled up the first book. And this says, Finley Donovan is killing it. Except she's really not. She's a stressed out single mom of 2 and struggling novelist. Finley's life is in the new book she promised her literary agent isn't written. Her ex-husband fired the nanny without telling her, and this morning she had to send her 4-year-old to school with hair duct taped to her head after an incident with scissors. When Finley is overheard discussing the plot of her new suspense novel with her agent over lunch, she's mistaken for a contract killer and inadvertently accepts an offer to dispose of her problem husband in order to make ends meet. Soon, Finley discovers that crime in real life is a lot more difficult than its fictional counterpart, as she becomes tangled in a real-life murder investigation. Fast-paced, deliciously witty, and wholeheartedly authentic in depicting the frustrations and triumphs of motherhood in all its messiness, hilarity, and heartfelt moment, Finley Donovan is Killing It is the first in a brilliant new series from YA Edgar Award nominee El Casimano. I've heard really, really good things about at least that first book, so I'm excited to get more of the series. Okay, so this next one is one that is like a helpful book. That is Organizing for the Rest of Us. 100 Realistic Strategies to Keep Any House Under Control by Dana K. White, author of Decluttering at the Speed of Life. And let's see. Schedule your Pop-Tarts. Okay. Oh, there's even like a little ribbon bookmark. That's cute. But yeah, I'm a very disorganized person. I'm very ADHD when it comes to just about anything, but especially cleaning and organizing. So I thought this might be helpful. Well, actually, I'll read what this says here. Get a grip on your stuff. Have you tried all the popular organizational advice out there and yet your house is still a mess? Dana K. White has been there. Can I have a house that stays under control without color coding my sock drawer? She wondered. She went to work finding the answer. In Organizing for the Rest of Us, Dana shares 100 doable, down-to-earth, and sustainable strategies for decluttering, organizing, and cleaning. Learn the secrets to keep your sanity while cutting the clutter, getting out from under mega loads of laundry, making cleanup time work for the whole family. These bite-sized solutions will break through every organizational struggle you have for good. Fingers crossed. Okay, my battery is about to die, so let me go change that out and I'll be right back. Okay, sorry if there was an angle change. I also emptied out my SD card while I was at it, so shouldn't have any more problems. Okay, next up is Cursed Princess Club Volume 2 by Lambcat. I read the first one of these and absolutely loved it, and so I was super excited to find Volume 2. Like, look at this art. It's so freaking cute. So I pulled up on Goodreads to tell you about Volume 1. It says, Meet Gwendolyn, living proof that princesses don't always have it all. See, although she lives in a castle and her father is the king, Gwendolyn isn't like a movie princess or even a fairy tale princess. She's got a big heart, but isn't particularly attractive and doesn't have a Disney quality singing voice. But one night, she accidentally stumbles upon the twisted world of the Cursed Princess Club, and her life will never be the same. Hexed and cast out, the ladies of the club are just the people Gwendolyn needs to show her that just because she doesn't fit the mold does not mean she's any less of a princess. And it was so fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to reading this one. Okay, and then last but not least, we have Gone Tonight by Sarah Pekkanen. And this says, their bond runs deep, their lies run dark. 41-year-old Ruth Sterling is on the run from her past while trying to hold on to her future by protecting her 24-year-old daughter, Catherine. It's always been just the two of them against the world, but how well do they really know each other? And what made Ruth, a pregnant teenager all those years ago, run from her life? When Ruth's desperate quest to keep Catherine by her side reveals cracks in her carefully constructed world, both mother and daughter begin a dance of deception. One that begs the question, who does the darkness lie within? Propulsive, brilliantly layered, and a true shocker, Gone Tonight is an emotionally thrilling powerhouse of a novel about motherhood, young love, protection, and the violence that lies dormant in the least expected places. Dun, dun, dun. There's some nice blurbs on here. Samantha Downing says, both thrilling and heartbreaking with characters you won't soon forget, captivating from beginning to end. And Alex Finley says, Gone Tonight proves why Sarah Pekkanen is one of the finest thriller writers working today. It will undoubtedly be crowned one of the year's best novels. Exciting. Okay, so those are all 12 books that I got from Book Outlet this time around. Have you guys read any of them? Did you like them? Did you not? Comment down below and let me know. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you. Bye!